Ladies and gentlemen, I've learned over the course of the past 20 years that whenever someone gives me an opinion that is not optimistically in my favor, I've learned to go out and get a second opinion. I don't care who it is, whether it's family, friend, or foe. If the opinion is diametrically opposed to your best interest, you need to always go out and seek another opinion. Point in case, Michael Jordan was cut from his junior high basketball team. Mike got a second opinion. Luther Vandross was booed off the Apollo stage at his first appearance. Luther got a second opinion. Anita Baker was told by Aerostar Records, don't quit your day job. Anita went and got a second opinion. My wife was told by her grade school teachers her best career path would be domestic or minimum wage work. Dr. Stephanie went and got a second opinion. My fourth grade teacher told me at the chalkboard one day I should not have been promoted to the fourth grade. Y'all, I'm so glad I didn't allow those words to damage me. I went out and got a second opinion. Because whenever someone gives you an opinion that is not optimistically in your best interest, you need to go out and get second opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, we see this in our text today. I'm in John's gospel where Jesus performed 7 miracles. But there are in John's gospel 7 miracles that reveal the power of God. You may recall that I told you that the first 4 miracles, Jesus dealt with the requirements needed to get a miracle. While in the last 3 miracles, Jesus dealt with the results that come from the miracle. The 7th miracle, Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. The 6th miracle, Jesus healed a blind man. In the 5th miracle, Jesus stilled a storm. The 4th miracle, Jesus fed 5,000 men plus women and children. The 3rd miracle, Jesus healed a man who was lame. And in our text today, we see the 2nd miracle is where Jesus goes back to Cana of Galilee, to the place where he performed his first miracle, the miracle where he turned water into wine. While in Cana, the text says that word had spread that Jesus was in town. And an official with the government who had a problem heard Jesus was in Cana. And he decided to get a second opinion. But ladies and gentlemen, the text confirms that the official's problem precipitated the need for a miracle. For one of the things that we need to understand is that in order to experience a miracle, you first have to encounter a problem. Well, it's impossible to experience miracles without first encountering problems. But the problem in this text is presented to us by this certain official who also happened to be a parent of a sick child. The official, the parent, the petitioner, presents the problem to Jesus for a second opinion. That's the first aspect that we need to understand. Now, the second aspect, according to biblical research, is that the petitioner, the parent, was not a believer. He was instead a big shot. Either he was a wealthy business person with a vast estate, or he was a royal pagan official in Herod's government, or he was both. Now, what was strange was that usually a person of this individual status would not have come himself to make such a request or a petition. He would have sent someone to do the petitioning on his behalf. But the big shot, who was not a believer, the parent, the petitioner, made the petition asking the Lord to come down 40 kilometers or 25 miles from Cana to Capernaum in order to see about the problem. For the text states that instead of sending someone to petition on his own behalf, the official decided that it was just too important of a matter to delegate it. He understood that he needed to go himself, for there are some opinions we don't need to hear it through secondhand hearsay. we need to go and get it ourselves. I need to have the courage, I need to have the character, I need to have the fortitude and the stamina that I'll go down to Cana and petition the Lord myself. So then, ladies and gentlemen, there are several aspects to this text. There are several aspects to this text that we need to understand. First, no problem, no miracle. Second was the fact that the parent, the petitioner, made the petition asking the Lord to come down 40 kilometers or 25 miles from Cana to Capernaum in order to see about the problem. Now that was the second aspect. The third aspect in the text this morning was the patient. The patient, like the petitioner, was also dealing with the same problem. The petitioner's child, the patient, was sick. That's why the official, the petitioner, is petitioning. He has a problem, a child near death, under attack. And as I thought about this parent, as I thought about the parent with the problem, this patient, it forced me to ask myself the question, what's my patient? What's my problem? What's my proverbial sick child? What's the thing in my life that is dying that I want to live? And I want to ask you this morning, what's your child? What's your problem? What's your sick thing that's got you needing the Lord to come down 40 kilometers or 25 miles down to give you a second opinion? Is it a child? Is it finances? Is it a relationship? Is it the past? Is it sickness? Is it fear? Is it doubt? What is it? Or do we even have a clue as to what the patient, the problem, the sick child that's about to die is? For what's got you in Cana this morning? What's got you on the altar? What's got you on your knees? What's got you petitioning the Lord this morning? What's troubling your mind? What's troubling your body? What's troubling your soul? What's troubling your spirit to the point that you need a second opinion? For whatever is troubling us this morning, we learn from the text, through the text, that the parent or the petitioner, whatever is sick, take it to the physician. Whatever is messed up, whatever is troubling us, we learn from the text through the parent or the petitioner that whatever is sick, take it to the physician. Take the petition to the physician. Take it to Jesus. Take it to the Lord. Take it to the Lord in prayer. And that's the fourth aspect, that we need some parents. We need some people. We need some officials like this petitioner who are willing to turn the patient and the problem over to the physician. I mean, you've tried everything and you tried everyone else, but now I'm not only trying Jesus, but I'm turning it over to Jesus. Yeah, don't miss your place to shout there. I'm turning it over to Jesus because he's the only one that can turn it. Yeah, the petitioner had turned to everybody else to help the patient, and they failed. But now he turned it to Jesus. But what's amazing is Jesus is so awesome that he can heal the patient without seeing the patient. My God, Jesus, watch this, healed the patient vicariously through the petitioner's faith. For Jesus simply told the petitioner to go home. Your child will live. Your problem is going to be all right. Your finances are going to come back. Your relationship is going to be healed. Your body is going to live. Yeah, Jesus tells us to just go home. Your child will live. And in doing so, what we see here is the physician's progressive power. But the text says that the petitioner arrived home 24 hours later. He got home the next day, and he was met by his servants, and his servants told him the good news that his progressive problem was no more. And the petitioner asked the servants, what time did it turn? And they told him, yesterday at the 7th hour at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when the fever left him. That's when it turned. And the petitioner realized that the child was healed at the same time that Jesus spoke it. My God, look at Jesus. He debunks the traditional method of church. He turns the church on its heels. He debunks the traditional method of healing and miracles that took place, which said to go to the priest, walk to the priest, and see the priest. Make an appointment to see the priest, and the priest will talk to you, and the priest will write your problem down. And then the priest will give you a letter stating that after he saw you, that you were certified healed, and you could go back to work, and you could go back to school, and you could go back to the church, and you could go back to your life. And what we see here is that Jesus bypasses all of the rules that man has put in place. In fact, Jesus broke the rules and said, you can go on home. You ain't got to go to the hospital. You ain't got to go to hospice. You ain't got to go to the house. In fact, I'm not going down to your house. I'm going to fake him healed, and I'm going to speak him healed, and he's going to be healed. Jesus showed progressive power. Jesus just spoke that thing. Jesus just spoke progressive power. Omnipotent power, omnipresent power, omniscient power. And the petitioner received it. He received it, and he walked in what Jesus told him. Jesus wanted the man to learn how to focus his faith. Oh, if we learn how to focus our faith. Jesus wants the official, the petitioner, and us to learn how to rely solely on his word. For faith is nothing more or less than hearing and believing what Jesus says. This is why you and I, we gather to hear what he says. And this is important as we face challenges to our faith. Oh, we pray when we have challenges. We pray when we have sick children. We pray when our finances are sick. We pray for God to show us and prove to us. But Jesus says, I will not always give you a sign. I will not always show you a wonder. And what Jesus is saying is, can you learn to trust and have faith in every single word that I say?